You've heard today from some legal experts and from some medical experts, from some rehab experts. I have the pleasure of bringing to you patient experts. To my far left is Marita Webb, mother of Kalika Webb, who's to my immediate left, and David Webb with the handheld camera, making sure that not a moment of this is missed. If you could just stand up, David, just to say hi. They're all the way from New Brunswick, direct last night. I first met David and Marita Webb in hospital in Hamilton shortly after Kalika was catastrophically injured in a car crash. There was never any doubt that Kalika's injuries were catastrophic. She was broken from head to toe, inside and out. If there was such a thing as a negative GCS, she would have scored it. Nobody other than David, Marita, and Kalika could have envisioned the progress that she was able to make and to achieve over the next 6.5 years. What she's accomplished, given her initial level of injury, is exceptional, remarkable. There are not enough adjectives to describe the outcome, which has been quite terrific. The best thing about being a personal injury lawyer at our shop is that we get to meet exceptional people, none more so than the Webb family. I've seen the Webbs place triumph ahead of tragedy. I've seen them take desperation and turn it into inspiration. And it's been a real privilege to have them as clients, and I'm proud to call them my friends. We settled Kalika's tort claim about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. One of the pieces of evidence that we put together for the purpose of mediation was a 45-minute day-in-the-life video. And this was a powerful piece of evidence. We didn't have to say anything at the mediation. We just pressed play and closed our mouth. That's what I propose to do, other than to let you know that this video I'm about to play, we've shortened it to 9 minutes to fit scheduling. So in honor of the film festival, sit back and enjoy the show.
Before the accident, Kalika was a very outgoing, happy, healthy, active child.
She was a very dynamic girl. She was very involved in her community, and her community was very involved with her. She was very active in sports, community projects, volunteerism. She loved life, and life was reciprocal with her. It loved her back.
For March break, Kalika had gone for a visit with her, to visit her friend in Ontario. And on her second night while she was there, David and I received a phone call in the middle of the night, about 2 o'clock in the morning. And the call was from a police officer from the Waterloo Police Department. And he had told us that Kalika had been involved in an accident.
Our initial consultation with the doctors in Hamilton were not very informative because they just didn't know. They received this very injured young woman, and they were just trying to find out. They were trying to preserve her life.
Mm-hmm. Kalika had a brain injury and other physical injuries, and as a result, she has a number of physical impairments, cognitive impairments. She's impaired psychologically, socially as well. So as a result of these impairments, she has difficulties with all of her day-to-day activities, from getting up out of bed in the morning to doing all of her self-care ADLs in the morning, such as getting dressed, taking a shower. She's got a lot of difficulty with her fine motor movement in her hands, so she needs help with fasteners and things like that.
Kalika wears a brace on her left foot, and that sometimes can cause us some difficulties, and we have a hard time finding shoes that will accommodate the brace. Winter boots is a big concern. We can't find boots that will allow us to put her brace on, and therefore, if she's wearing sneakers or whatnot, that foot gets really cold. And the brace is made out of plastic and metal. It also attracts the cold. So it's a constant concern for us when Kalika's out in the cold to make sure that that foot and leg do not get frostbitten.
She's going to be graduating soon, so she needs assistance with, getting to school, walking in school, getting all the information in class. She has helpers with that. So pretty much all of her day-to-day activities she needs assistance with.
Well, wouldn't it be weird to have when they one minute they're gonna kill you, then the next minute they always shake their hand like, "Oh, this is so great, this is so good."
Well, but that's the whole spectacularness of this, I find. You're exactly right.
We wondered-
The fact that these soldiers on the 23rd and on the 27th are killing each other, but on the 24th and 25th, they've agreed to
They're like buddy
not
buddy.
do that.
They're all like buddy buddy in that.
Sorry?
They're all like buddy buddy
They're
in that.
exactly what it is.
Test it on the counter first, and if you judge it too heavy.
My hand. Oh shit.
I'm here just in case. If you can't, let me know, okay? Because I know that's pretty heavy. It's a heavy pot to begin with.
I have the way
Is your
slipping.
hand slipping? Okay,
Yep.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can you get a spoon while you're over there? So you
Yeah.
can mix this stuff
I'm not
up?
gonna use a wooden spoon though.
Oh, okay.
Because of the way she is moving, she will get arthritis in her joints, and also other forms of pain because of the difficulty that she has with walking and with one side of her body being more affected than the other. It is likely that she will have more pain, more arthritis, and as a result she's likely to have more or require more care as she gets older. And
I hate the grip.
turn, now push.
And they're like, wait for the last 2 seconds.
You want to wait for the last step for that
No,
one?
the last 2
The
seconds.
last 2 steps, okay. So 1,
2.
okay. Right here?
Yeah.
Now hold on, I gotta set myself up. Gotta do the splits here. It's a tough one.
There. Oh,
I gotcha.
Okay, put it down.
Yes. When she goes to a bank machine, putting the card in the machine, taking it back out, manipulating a wallet to put her money inside of it. Normally, as of now, we still help, we assist her with that. Kalika's rehabilitation team encourages her to walk as much as she can, but someone always needs to be present with her. Just for security reasons, falling. If the wind starts to blow, she can lose her balance very easily.
I know, man.
Okay, so relax your heel down before you keep coming. Now that was a big gush of wind. That was a very, very big gush of wind. I didn't expect that at all.
Kalika is a really high-spirited young lady. She looks at things with the attitude of, I'm going to try it anyway. Even if somebody says you can't do it, that really inspires her to try harder. She has returned to volleyball and coaching the Marshview School kids.
Kalika, what are 3 things that you enjoy doing now?
Well, I like to coach volleyball, to try new things, and to prove people wrong.
You gonna fly one day?
Well, I'm going to try my hardest.
As you can tell, that was a pretty powerful video. It's also out of date because that, I guess, would have been prepared about 3 years ago. So we're going to hear about the last 3 years. And Kalika, before you come up here, you promised me you were going to fly. So now's your time to fly.
Thank you so for the introduction. I'm honored to be here. I'd like to say thanks to Thomson Reuters for allowing me this opportunity to share my experience as I travel through my journey. Thanks. my journey. Many doors slammed shut for me the night of March 11th, 2005. I've had to piece my life back together from the beginning. But despite what I've lost, I am my own person. Unique, fun, inspiring to those who meet me, and yes, very stubborn. Even though I'm not perfect and whole again, in the last 6 years, I have regained much of my lost 17 years. My rehabilitation path has been far from easy. In the early days following my accident, I had a choice to make. I could lie in bed and meet the doctor's low predictions, or I could take control of my life and do what was best for me, fight and ultimately make a difference. I often felt discouraged, unmotivated, and very much underestimated, as I worked hard to rebuild my life in a healthcare system that expected me to fit a particular mold. I have never felt so degraded as when I was told I would not be able to do something before I was even given the chance to try. That defied me. I wanted a greater challenge. What I really needed was a system that was customized and personalized to my needs. Being the stubborn individual that I am, I wasn't going to let anyone set limits to what I could or could not do before even given the chance to try. Yes, I get tired, grumpy, and need encouragement along the way. But then again, who doesn't? I was lucky to have family support. They all helped in some way, be it advice, words of wisdom, encouragement, a shoulder to cry on, and, of course, a little kick in the butt every now and then. My parents had my back from day one. They pushed up hard on my behalf to give me everything that I needed along the way. If it wasn't for them, I'm not sure where I'd be today, or where I'd be. Chances are where I am. Sorry, my bad. At the age of 23, my mom and dad still have my back. My relationship with my brother and sister wasn't the same for a few years following my accident. I went from being the middle child to the one needing the most care and attention, like that of an infant or a toddler. I think there was a bit of resentment toward me for this at first. Both Nick and Vanessa will always look out for me now, more so now than they ever would have had to before. The two of them are now my best and closest friends. My lawyer and his team worked countless hours with me, my parents, doctors, therapists, and other individuals to work through the insurance and litigation process to secure the funding that allowed me to hire and pay for services. As a result, I have a phenomenal team of highly qualified professionals and university students who work along with me and my family in a practical, personalized, and realistic rehabilitation and care program that works for me. Therapy is a major component of my life now. That includes working with an OT, RSW, speech pathologist, and massage therapist, and a long list of doctors. I can't just take a break or go on vacation whenever I want to. Every day when I wake up, I cannot pick or choose which day I'm going to have a brain injury. It's with me all the time. With me all the time, and so is my team. And what bites is not having enough alone time. With my team, I'm able to eliminate the boredom of doing the same thing over and over. We make change, find new, fun, challenging, and different things to do. We find ways to help me better understand myself and teach me ways to work therapy into my day-to-day life. We make it seem as if I'm not constantly working. We laugh, have fun, and we make new friendships. We are not always serious, and we learn together. I returned to a more normal social life, but we built a new circle of friends of all ages, including able persons and disabled, and reconnected with a few of our friends from before the accident. I have made several public speaking appearances to share my story with high school students, with the hope of preventing more tragedies. I visit middle schools to raise children's awareness towards people with disabilities, and I've come here today to give you a peek from my perspective. My goal now is working towards independent living. This has been a valuable, bittersweet life learning experience for me, even if it came from tragedy. Although no amount of money can bring me back what I've lost, many new doors have been opened to me as a result of this life-altering experience. I returned to high school and graduated with my adult diploma. It took 2 years of solid work. I'm back on my snowboard. It's hard work, and I can't get off the bunny hill, but I'm trying. I coach volleyball, a game that I love. And recently, I walked to a local cafe and back, which was exhausting, but also rewarding. Despite all the negative remarks made by directly and indirectly by healthcare people, I have achieved far more than what test results indicated I would be able to do and what they thought I was capable of. I was told I would plateau. I'm not there yet, and even though I'm happy with my progress so far, my journey is far from being over. I still have work to do and will need help and encouragement along the way. My life has been pretty well renovated. I don't want to limit myself with any of my future achievements. For me, the sky is truly the limit. Sloan, I am flying.
Wow. That's a tough act to follow, Marita. I met with Marita last night. She told me that she gets nervous at times speaking in front of audiences over 5. When she gets really nervous, when she gets really nervous, she says that she has a tendency to be sick. So if I could just ask you guys to move back. Immediately before she's sick, her eyes start to well up. So if she looks like she's about to cry, run. Marita.
Thank you, Sloan. It's my pleasure to be here to talk to you today. And I will do my best not to get too emotional, but I can't promise I won't, because I'm already there. So, this is a perspective from my position, and hopefully it reflects David's as well. Catastrophic and rehabilitation. 2 words, 1 meaning. Huge change. 1 bad, 1 good, 1 leading the other. Both are enormously costly in energy, resource, and effort. Prior to March 11th, 2005, I knew these 2 words in relation to natural disasters and addictions. I did not know them in the context of personal or human injury. I wish I didn't know them in that context. Kalika has worked extremely hard to achieve the successes that she has. She has overcome and worked through gigantic obstacles and surpassed goals and expectations many had predicted for her. We are extremely proud of her. She has showed and told you a little about what it is like to get where she is today. Her achievements are primarily a result of Kalika's drive, determination, and Olympic effort. But Kalika has not been alone in her recovery. Kalika has had many people working with her and on her behalf. Those people are her family, immediate and extended, her medical, her rehabilitation, her legal teams, and her community. For our entire family, the past 6.5 years have been the most challenging years of our entire lives. We know that unless you have experienced this yourself, you may not understand it fully. We sincerely hope none of you have to experience it. For David and I, it's been the largest draw on our combined knowledge, experience, training, intellect, intuition, emotions, values, beliefs, strengths, and energy. When David and I arrived in the Hamilton Trauma Center, finding Kalika directly across from the nursing station with her own one-on-one trauma nurse and a trauma team of more than 17 people working on or around her, we knew we were dealing with an extremely serious situation. I am so very thankful that between the two of us, we had the experience and the knowledge we did, because on that fateful day, it was called upon, and every bit of it was needed. We recognized we had to trust in each other and in each other's skills and knowledge, and if neither of us had what was required or the answers, we were going to have to find them or the people that did. We knew in order to help Kalika, it was going to take both of us and others as well. Although at the time, I don't know if either of us knew how much it would take or how much it would draw from us. Thankfully, we did not have to do it on our own. What happened to Kalika has been the most horrific thing a family could experience. This event happened to all of us. Each one of us has been affected in profound ways. We not only lost the Kalika we knew, we lost part of ourselves, and we lost part of each other. And I've lost my space. Catastrophic injury and TBI with a child in a family situation is overwhelming. You are not only dealing with the individual that has been seriously injured and altered, you are also dealing with what each member of the family is going through, and you try to maintain as normal a life as possible. I cannot tell you what we have done. I cannot tell you if we've done a good job or not. What I can tell you is that we have done all we could do under the circumstances, and we've done our best. As parents in the early days and months, our focus and nearly all of our energy was concentrated on Kalika, her struggle for life, and her rehabilitation. Our youngest daughter at the age of 11 and a half, and our son at 23, had their parents torn away from them for 8 weeks immediately after the accident while we were in Hamilton. And on our return to New Brunswick, they had only part of our attention during the many months of hospital and early home care. Even though David and I did our best during this time to look after our children, to help them through grieving, resentment, anger, adjusting to a new person, a new life, new community and home, and the normal trials of life, this was a traumatic period for both of them, and in some ways still is. They both have suffered emotionally, physically, socially, scholastically, and economically. Today, we continue to parent with and deal with residual and normal life issues, but we do it in a somewhat less chaotic and demanding environment, and hopefully with more attention. As a couple, the pressure we felt and the stress we endured was monumental. There have been times when we have described ourselves as having a very good business relationship, instead of a marriage. Time for one another has been an enormous issue. There just wasn't any, or we just simply were exhausted emotionally and physically. When we thought we might be able to be alone, some issue arose that needed dealing with, from tending to Kalika, care workers, counseling, additional hospital stays, telephone calls, insurance or legal and litigation issues, doctor's appointments, and out-of-province operation and related visits, to family or personal problems or difficulties, as well as personal health issues. We missed our 25th wedding anniversary. It just came and went before we even realized it happened. And we canceled a much-needed vacation. As a couple and individuals, we too have suffered emotionally, physically, socially, and economically. Very early on, David and I made the decision to care for Kalika ourselves. We had been told we should place Kalika in an institution. For us, that was just not going to happen. Kalika was going to be cared for us at home because we did not want her to be medicated, sitting in a wheelchair, looking out a window, and not having the best opportunity for recovery. That decision was, for us, easily made, but it had its own implications. Both of us have given up our jobs and much of our lives as we knew them. Our involvement with Kalika's rehabilitation has been hands-on and an enormous education. In order for us to make crucial decisions, sometimes on the spot and under extreme pressure, we needed to be involved and we needed to know everything we could. Sometimes we had to make decisions on our gut feeling. In reality, we were thrown into the midst of a world which we had no experience. The closest either of us had to come to this was our own recovery from operations or broken bones, or for caring for a child with normal childhood illnesses or accidents. We did not know what a rehab team was, how one was built, or what rehab at this level involved. We did not know what a case manager was, or even the difference between a physician or a physiatrist. Today, we do. We have intimate knowledge. How did we do it? I'm not sure. It came automatically, and because we had to. I think it was the realization of how serious the situation we were in. From day one, David and I began keeping notes, a journal, and receipts. We obtained a lawyer with the help of a very special social worker at the Hamilton General, and we began to gather information. We observed, listened, asked questions, read, and we learned. We went from a flat line. This is a picture of our life. We went from a flat line learning curve to a very steep one. We had to learn a great deal in a very short time. Doctors, nurses, OTs, our lawyer, and other professionals did their best to inform us, but we had a lot to do on our own. We felt someone else would not do as good a job as we could together. One of the first things we did when we got to home was to set up a home office to handle the administrative work. We bought a laptop, a file cabinet, a printer, /fax, hooked up the internet, and we set up a work center where everything could be held in one place. And we bought the biggest calendar available. Essentially, we operated like a small business to reduce time away from home and family. We asked people to come to our home for therapy and for interviews and meetings. When we did have time to be away, and it was not necessary for David and I to both be there, we divided into two. One parent with Kalika, the other at home with our other children. We also worked with a rehabilitation consultant. We needed that individual's professional designation to assist us in coordinating medical and rehab teams, to ensure the insurance company was listening, and to facilitate obtaining the goods and services that were required. Perhaps the most important thing we did was to create a complete medical record of our own, containing all copies of all tests, exams, scans, and reports. We familiarized ourselves with everything in it, and we took that record with us to all appointments. Paper has a way of not following the patient and being skimmed over, and we didn't have the time or the energy to make additional trips for the lack of pertinent information and ill-informed individuals. We became creative in Kalika's rehabilitation and did not let the limitations of existing medical and educational structures restrict Kalika's recovery. We found creative and open-minded people and ways to work within and outside the structures. We found solutions. The phrase, "It doesn't work that way," or "we can't do that," meant it does not fit our normal practice, or we do not have the resources, or Kalika is not able to do that. No was just not an option for us. We challenged or did it on our own with our own team. We decided the patient does not plateau, the therapist does. We were determined to do everything we could. We found physical and cognitive challenges and stimulation go hand in hand with recovery advancement. So we altered back and forth, and Kalika made huge gains in both areas. With that in mind, some of the things we found to do were very challenging and difficult for Kalika. But understanding her limitations, her determination and desire to get better, and working with her team to do these things made all the difference in the world. Today, much of the old Kalika has returned to us. She has done and does do many of the things she used to do, albeit differently and with help, but she does do them. She lives a different life, but she has a good life, and if we have anything to say about it, she always will.
Do they have to move back?
No, just let me breathe. Many families have struggled and done the same as we have with this very daunting task. As they have, we have worked hard. We have grieved and cried together, and sometimes we still do. Our hurt is never very far from the surface, but we have learned and grown together, and today we continue to work, learn, and laugh together. We still have difficult or trying times, but Kalika herself inspires us and encourages us. We do not know what will happen in the future, and our greatest fear is that someday we will be gone and no longer able to care for Kalika. We hope Kalika's siblings will be there for her and that life will be kind to them. But for now, life is what it is, and not a day goes by that we do not think of someone who has said something or done something encouraging or has done their utmost to help us. And for that, we are thankful. Thank you.
This type of presentation is what happens when the mother of your injured client is a former cataloger at a university by profession. She sends you PowerPoints and mileage calculations to the 10th of a kilometer. It's absolutely fantastic. On behalf of everybody here today, I want to thank you for flying in and sharing your experience with us. Okay, thank you.